I remember when I was 8 years old, I broke my arm. 3 weeks later, I was on the football field ready for first practice. Older dudes in the neighborhood really looked after the younger kids. There was more education from dudes who may have made bad choices, and they see a future in the kids coming up underneath. After I got over being timid, my mother even told me, she said, dude, almost every day I had to come up to that school when you was younger fighting. I don't really remember it. I remember the first time I got in a fight and I punched some dude in the face, and that turned me bananas. Like, I was wanted that all the time. And a part of that was because my mother didn't know this, but I told her about it. I remember hearing my father hit her. I remember being in the room and hearing him hit her. It was yelling, and then boom, and then whatever she fell into. I always correlated that into if somebody arguing with me and he in my face and we not doing too much talking because I feel like he's about to punch me.
Welcome to the Pink Book Podcast. I am your host, Joyce Van Setters, and I am thrilled to continue to bring you innovators who are changing the game. Today, I have a multifaceted personality on the podcast who has a diverse background in not only sports, but medicine. Welcome to the podcast, Brandon Copeland, aka Midwest Kong.
You made me a little bit too cool. You said medicine. You said medicine. Hold on. ChatGPT for that.
No, I mean, just Google. You're that cool.
Yeah, Google.
Thank you for being on the podcast. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's start from the beginning. So where are you from, Brandon?
Toledo, Ohio.
Ohio?
Toledo, yep. Toledo, Ohio. Okay. Everybody likes to say we are the Ohio part of Michigan. We was once Michigan, and they lost it in a war. So this is why the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry is so big around here.
Got it. And tell me about young Brandon. Tell me how you grew up.
Man.
What I mean by that is like both parents in the house, siblings. Talk to me about that.
No, I was the only child till I was 13. However, though, we grew up. I have a big family. My mother has 7 siblings. So grandma was the child care provider. We never went to daycare. So we was all raised brothers and sisters. Like, even my second cousins, like, for a very long time, I didn't even realize that those were my second cousins because everybody was so close. My grandmother's sister lived not too far, and everybody was cousin. Their holidays was always spent together in grandma's house. So it was a lot of kids that grandma would babysit. I remember the bunk beds, my mother going to school and going to work. I'm close in the middle of the pack. Okay. Out of all the grandkids, I'm like in the middle of the pack. So those was like brother and sisters that we was raised like. I was a very sickly kid though. I had asthma really bad.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And then this is in the 80s when, the only thing that it wasn't really like, it was pills and inhalers, little ones. And then I spent a lot of time in the hospital due to that. Mm-hmm. But I started playing football at 8 years old. Okay. And, my mother just never allowed nothing to prevent me because I was also a timid kid too. Even though I got all those cousins and stuff, I was the timid one. So my mother never allowed me to be that way. She always, hey, no, we're doing this. And I knew, and I think about it today, and I'm like, why do you do certain stuff when you injured or you've kind of tweaked, a little tweak here, you might should rest. And I remember when I was 8 years old, I broke my arm. And my mother was, I got my cast off. 3 weeks later, I was on the football field ready for first practice. Yeah. My mama didn't play. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, your arm good? Cool. And I used to cry like, oh, Mom, it looked funny because you had the cast on so long, your arm looked funny. I'm like, Mom, it's going to break again. I was scared, but after that, I'm telling you, man, I'll never forget that first day of practice with the equipment that year. And it didn't hurt. I was like, oh, man. So that kind of hit a switch. And after that, I was like ready to go. And then I had older cousins who was athletes. who one of my cousins, Eric Henderson, I looked up to a lot. Him and my cousin Robert were a year apart. They both was good athletes, and I used to go to their games and watch. And I always
Football
wanted
as
to be
well?
like, yeah, well, they play football now, football, basketball, and track.
Okay.
But I always wanted to be like them, So we was tough. It was tough in the house. Granddad was military, like to the core. Yes,
What
sir.
branch?
No, sir. Granddad was in the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah, Granddad was in the Navy, so it was yes, sir, no, sir. And
Okay.
it's funny, man. People make fun of the Navy now, but in them days, when you left, you didn't know when you was coming home.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
there
I'm a
wasn't no
military
cell
brat too,
phones.
so that's why I asked.
Yeah, there wasn't no cell phones. There wasn't no Instagram and none of that. When
Right.
my grandma told me stories like she used to be terrified when that phone rang. She used to be terrified when the doorbell rang and she wasn't expecting company because somebody could be coming to bring that flag.
Yeah.
And it was just hectic like that. But Granddad was strict, man. He didn't play. It was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am. Granddad had a chair. You better not sit in his chair. We grew up watching sports. We didn't barely watch cartoons. We used to watch the Wild World of Sports on Saturdays. And then by the time that was over, all the goofy cartoons come on that we don't watch. We too old to watch them. They come on in the
Right.
afternoon. So what we do, we grab the ball, go outside, play basketball, play football in the yard. And we grew up in the neighborhood, in the hood. So it was a lot of it's different. It was different back then. I tell people this all the time. Like older dudes in the neighborhood really, really looked after the younger kids. There was more education from dudes who may have made bad choices, and they see a future in the kids coming up underneath. And we was protected in the neighborhood. Older dudes didn't let us get out of line, and we come from the era that where, hey, look, everybody up the street will snatch you up, so don't get to clowning at all.
Right.
That's where we come from. So I had a strong family structure as well as a strong structure in the days of the village. So but when I got into the teenage years, was able to drive, I drifted. And I did a lot of things that my mother wouldn't even approve of.
What do
I
you mean
wasn't
by
raised
that?
like
What do you
that.
mean by drifted?
Well, we grew, you even though we had a family structure, you still grew up in the neighborhood. You still grew up in the inner city.
Yeah.
And you still have friends who didn't have such a strong base. Like, I had a lot of friends, man, that they clown at their house, but they wouldn't act like that over grandma's house or my mama's
Right.
house. They
Yeah.
wouldn't do certain things in front of my family, So even though I wasn't in that like that, you couldn't mess with them though, because they was my friends. So I grew up in a Crip neighborhood. So if you was a blood, y'all try to fight, and I got to fight with them in my, these are my dudes from the neighborhood. So you can't do nothing to them. Even though I'm not throwing the flag around, you can't do nothing to them. And I was just associated. So then that became problems for me because now I'm associated with the Crips. And then we moved out of that neighborhood into a blood neighborhood. So I'll say this, man. One thing was sports always brought us together. And I remember me and my buddy, man, he grew up in the same Crip neighborhood, moved in the same blood neighborhood. We want to go play basketball. We had to fight our way to get on the court. Yeah. And I remember this older blood dude named Booby McMillan. Rest in peace, Booby. He was like, hey, man, every day these kids come up here, they're going to play. And they starting to take y'all up top every time they'll come. Y'all can't whoop these boys no more. Man, get out the way, let them hoop. So we started becoming cool with those guys. Now we still going back to our neighborhood and like, yo, let's play this neighborhood versus this neighborhood. Man, them ain't coming over here. You crazy. So when I would never forget, when I was 19, I was able to get the Bloods to come over there and play football in the field in the Crip neighborhood. Ain't nobody getting no argument, no fight. So sports back then was what kept us together. It was no problems. Then we would hoop together. So I would go around court to court all through the city. No matter what neighborhood it was, hey, we got next. And we do that every summer. Before football season starts, we do that every summer. We gone for 10 hours playing basketball, court to court. We had this court, this time. This no matter who was there, we out there playing basketball, and there really wasn't no issues like that. You
Wow.
arguing on the court, but it wasn't no, oh, he from this neighborhood or he from that neighborhood.
Yeah, it was fun.
Um, it
What
developed
what college did you go to?
I didn't.
You didn't go to college. Okay.
There was something called grades.
Okay.
You could be a good athlete, but
I'm familiar. Okay.
there's something called grades, but
Yeah.
yeah, so we just, being a good athlete, it wasn't good enough. And, I used to be upset about that because I wanted so much to be like my cousin Eric because he played at Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
And he was a really good football player in Miami, Ohio. And we used to go see him play. My grandfather used to rent a conversion van, and we would go watch him play. I've spent to almost every MAC school field in, just from granddad doing it.
Okay.
And I wanted to be like him so bad, but I think I started to feel pressure. And I think indirectly I was starting to remove myself from wanting to disappoint everybody. Even though, I was better than him. I would like to say I was better than him. But yeah, he was an All-American in football, and like I said, he went to college and was a really good college football player, and but I think I started indirectly feeling the pressure, and I think it's kind of why I self-sabotaged myself, honestly.
What did you do after college? I mean, what did you do after high school?
That area was pretty goofy.
Okay.
So what I did after that was understood that I had a gift. I had a gift to bring people together, right? And that's just my grandfather was like that. Everybody loved my grandfather. He would have people chase him down just to speak to him. He was that guy. And my grandfather always used to say, you got favor. You got favor. And I never knew what that meant. He said, out of everybody, you got favor. So once I was able to realize that favor was a blessing, I use it in the wrong way. Because I knew I could go to any side of town and not be bothered. If I had an issue with somebody, it was on. And unfortunately, that led to me being quite the interesting dude in the street at that point.
Okay.
Like I was wild for real. And I was a bouncer when I was 20 years old. And again, because I could go to these different places.
Back then, when you were 20?
Yeah.
Were you lifting weights back then? You were? Okay.
Yep. So because I was able to move around like that, and a lot of people couldn't, if I was wanted to get at this dude for this problem, they're like, hey, that's between y'all. So I kind of got arrogant with that and kind of acted like a little fool here and there. Well, not here and there, a lot. And then it just put me in a very violent space. I was violent when I was little, though. After I got over being timid, my mother even told me, she said, dude, almost every day I had to come up to that school when you was younger fighting. I don't really remember it. I remember the first time I got in a fight and I punched some dude in the face, and that turned me bananas. Like I was wanted that all the time. And a part of that was because my mother didn't know this, but I told her about it. I remember hearing my father hit her.
Okay.
I remember being in the room and hearing him hit her. It was yelling, and then boom, and then whatever she fell into. Right. And I always correlated that into if somebody arguing with me and he in my face and we not doing too much talking because I feel like he's about to punch me. He gonna do something to me, so I got to get off on him. And then it became something that was almost like an endorphin set off like violent. And as I got older, I started realizing the consequences was greater. So I was a sneaky violent dude. Okay. And then that's how I also got into the martial arts. And I thought that would help, with the mental health part of what I was dealing with that I didn't know existed. I just thought if I can get legally punch somebody in the face, then I would be fine. But it really didn't. It really made me worse mentally.
Interesting. When did you stop playing football?
That was it. After school was over with.
You were done. Okay. Okay.
I was done with those types of sports. Yeah.
So tell me about tell me about how you got into bodybuilding per se. And when I say bodybuilding, because we're all bodybuilders. If we're in the gym and we're working on our body, we're bodybuilders. So tell me how you got into that and what it means to you.
When I was 13, Flex Wheeler, I was at a grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to look at the comic books because I loved Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at the comic books, and I'm like going through them, and then I see Flex Wheeler, and I'm like, what is this? Why is this over here? So I got it, and I remember taking it to my grandmother, like, hey, grandma, can I get this? And she grabbed it. She's like, what you want this for? I said, he got some workouts in there. I was 13 playing football, so, I wanted to start lifting,
Right.
whatever. She said, what you want this for? I said, oh, he got workouts in there. I want to try them. She said, boy, don't you go in that basement without your uncle being there trying to lift no weights because I ain't going to pull it off you. I said, okay. So she got me the book. So I went home, went to my grandmother's house where the weights was, and I cut out all the pages of his workouts, right? And I hung them on the clothesline with the little clips.
Yeah.
And I thought I could do them, whatever. And I'll never forget, man, one day I tried to bench a little bit too much, and it came down on me, and I'm scared because I got the clips on there.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh. So I hear her walking around, and it is killing me. I'm like, Grandma. She opened the basement door. I said, Grandma, I need help. She said,
You
what
weren't
you
aware of
mean?
stop, drop, and roll?
She said, what you mean? I said, Grandma, the weight is on me. She said, you hurt? I said, it's just heavy. I can't move it. Wait till your uncle come back.
No. And
That's
it
when
was
I
on your
learned.
chest?
That's when I learned to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, you just
So
roll.
that's when I learned
Whatever
that
it hits, it
technique.
hits.
My grandma didn't play. My grandma was tough.
Wow.
Grandma used to tell us this, and we didn't realize this when we was kids. She used to say, I'm not coming to no game to see you sit the bench. We like, what? So we will work hard we will work hard to start. She said, I don't come see bench warmers. And that was her way of telling us, you need to work. You need to work hard. She said, and we all wanted the grandma's approval. So we would be out in that yard killing each other before the season even started. And that's how, that's how we got better in sports. So then I took it to the next level. A lot of my cousins didn't, but I took it to the next level with the working out. I got super obsessed with that. Watching Flex, those things. Then I used to rent his DVDs. I'm sorry, it wasn't DVDs. His VHSs. So
okay.
he was a huge experience. And then I found out later in life he was a martial artist as well. So
yeah. So you were doing MMA and bodybuilding at the same time?
No, so I had to make a change of lifting because obviously it's not conducive. Now, me being a jiu-jitsu black belt, I can lift the way I lift, and my body is cool. I don't have to, I don't have to, be a certain whatever to be able to fight. But jiu-jitsu, I can be built like this and be fine. When fighting MMA, I couldn't train that way. So it was until my last MMA fight, 2014, I was like, you know what? I want to bodybuild, like train like a bodybuilder. At this point, I was 34. I didn't want to do no weight cutting and all that. I did that for years. I didn't want to do that no more. And I was, again, always fascinated with the sport of bodybuilding and the way they train. Love to bench press is one of my favorites, obviously. And I just want bigger arms and shoulders. So, and I was a decent size then just because of being an athlete. But I wanted to train these particular body parts like they do.
Yeah.
And I went to I've known this guy since I was 19. His name's Jimmy Mom, and he's our first pro bodybuilder in the city since 1995, who actually was on stage with Flex at the USA's.
Oh,
And
nice.
he won his division, and then Flex got his pro card that night. So I got some Flex Wheeler pictures that I have to get to him that Jimmy have in the archive. I'm talking mint condition pictures of when Flex won his pro card. Yeah. So
that's dope.
So Flex has always been a big inspiration, and then like following him, and is when I got introduced to watching other. Then I went like I'm always an old school dude. Sergio Olivier
Mhm.
Sr. Even though
Yes.
he wasn't a pro. Victor Richards. So like I go
Mhm.
way back in the archives now
Wow.
and start looking at everybody, and then even like to be in this industry now.
Mhm.
Flex Wheeler being a good friend of mine, Dexter Jackson. Um, I get to
The
talk
champ.
to these guys, like
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman. He just called me the bench press dude. I don't even know if he know my real name. He just called me the bench press dude. So I get to speak to these dudes. You know what I'm saying? I get to text them. Have a phone number and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And and I came in the industry at 41.
Mhm.
So I was I was still a fan. You know what I mean? Like still a fan of the
Yeah.
sport, still a fan of these people who are cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a fan of what they have done. Um, but I
Did
just
you ever have the itch to get on stage?
absolutely not.
No. Okay.
No, 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 no. Never ever thought about it. Like that's
Okay.
people don't believe me because they think because my size, like if I cut up this, that, and the third, you would. I just never was interested. I will sit and watch. I love watching the Road to the Olympias, the documentaries, all of
Mhm.
that. But I just
Okay.
never ever thought. Never.
That's fair. I mean, listen, it's hard even at an entry level. It's a hard thing to do. So, I feel you on that. Um, Once you got really got into bodybuilding, what made you like how did you build your social media? How did you because you're someone who's super interesting to me on social media. You kind of have a niche of your own little thing where you kind of go against, people who talk about different lifts or yeah, right. And that's what I was drawn to. So talk to me about how you got there. What made you get into that? What made you take that route to build up your social media the way you did?
So when I'm literally 4 years in, I'm just now figuring out certain things, right?
Hmm.
I knew when I was done fighting, you can't be an athlete forever. That's number one. Um, I've been to the Arnold's before. I remember 2013, I went and I said, I will never come back here until I'm recognized as somebody in the industry. And I came back when I was recognized in the industry. I didn't know I was until I went. Kylie Muscle introduced me to the industry,
Oh,
and
okay.
he put me on this platform. We was friends through COVID, like right after COVID,
Love
on
Kelly
my
Muss.
on a regular Facebook, and
Hmm.
we used to do lives together. So we would do these lives during the pandemic, like right when the COVID was getting ready to clear up for us. I know California was still kind of steep, but
Yeah.
he was still living in Vegas, and we was just cracking jokes, talking on live, and we got cool from there. And then he texted me. He said, "Hey man," he said, "Let me get your number. I'm about to move back to Cali." He's like, "I want you to
Hmm.
come out there." And then we went out there. We met, and it was cool. Unfortunately, he had a heart attack. Things happened
Yeah.
in between there, but um, he's the one who introduced me, which is how I was able to meet CT Fletcher.
Wow.
Also,
Okay.
and that's how Flex wind up seeing me too. And all the
Hmm.
people that I, came in contact with now was through the introduction to the industry from him.
Yeah. We have to get you a collab with Kai.
You do. You
Yes, we'll
definitely
do
do.
that.
So Kai, I love the underdog story.
Yeah.
So when I started, first of all, so how I got introduced to Kai, I was watching him pose. It was a video I seen
Okay.
on you. It was a video I seen on YouTube, and I was
Mm.
like, man, they allowed to pose like that? Like I didn't know the sport like that, so
Right.
I didn't know. And I'm watching. I'm like, damn, that's cool. Like that big dude moving like that. So
Yeah.
I looked him up, and then I started to follow his journey, and then I started seeing snippets of what his life been through from him talking, and I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, so I'm pulling for Kai now. Phil Heath, the Kai Phil Heath thing, and I always wanted Kai to win. Well, then he did a video with CT Fletcher, and that's one of my favorite videos. It
Yeah.
was him, CT, and Dana Lynn Bailey. It was before,
Yeah.
I believe, both of their last Olympias. I love
Hmm.
that video, and that's how I got introduced to watching him. And then watching. So what I learned from him was the personality carried him past bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, they just don't have that. To be honest,
Right.
they really don't. So I'm drawn to genuine human. Not saying that nobody who don't talk or is charismatic as Kai, but
Mm-hmm.
you can truly relate to him and his energy, right? So
Yeah.
I truly, truly love watching Kai. And then when I seen the documentary, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is
Crazy,
deep.
right?
So I'm
Yeah.
watching that, and then I finally got to meet him at Pro's Gym in Columbus during the
Mm-hmm.
Arnold's, and he got a homie named Al from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to Al all the time. Shout out to Al. Al cool as hell. I like Al a lot. But I was always like saying stuff on his post and hitting him in the DM because I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
connect with him. And I would see him, and he would recognize me because he seen me because I'm always talking to Al.
Right.
But I don't think he ever like put. So we would speak, and then at the
Mm-hmm.
Olympia, I was walking through, and I glanced over. He was standing with Dexter, and it was at Dark Sport
Mm-hmm.
booth, and
Yeah.
he nodded and waved, and I'm like, and here's the thing, man. This is why I get upset with certain influencers and people in the industry
Mm-hmm.
because they lose that. I'm
Yeah.
45 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kai nodded at me through a crowd of people. He see me and nodded at me, and I was like, I told my buddy, I said, "Hey, you see Kai just give me the nod." I was happy that he
Yeah.
even, you know what I'm saying? That's how much of a fan.
He's a humble dude. I tell you, he's a humble dude.
That's how much of a fan I am of the sport. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
when you lose that, it's not fun no more.
Yeah.
It's not fun no more. So, and then I go to my booth, and then I have a line myself, and I'm like, it doesn't even register. Like
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, like, hey man, could y'all hurry up so I can catch Kai? Like I ain't want to be rude, but I wanted to go because Kai literally was right on the other
Yeah.
side of the wall. So,
That's
but
amazing.
it's just you can't lose that, you know. And
Yeah. I love to hear this.
I never
I
wanted to
love
lose
it.
that part. That's what make being a creator and being this industry toxic. We all know,
Yeah.
but those are the things that keep me in it. Is because I'm still a fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a fan. Now I might clout a little bit when I don't want to wait in the line. I actually want to meet somebody. I might clout a
Yeah.
little bit because I got on the credentials to do so. But
Right.
I'm not being an ant. Like I really just want to say hi to him. You know, I
Yeah.
really just want to meet that person. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
these people, man, they start talking to me like they know me, and I'm really sitting here like, oh my god, like Dexter Jackson, hit me, hey man, here's my number, man, hit me up. Let's, you know what I'm saying? So when I see him
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
it's still exciting to see these guys.
Yeah.
And
It's so,
Kai is the last one on the list.
yeah. I
Uh,
promise to get you a collab. I promise you. It'll
yeah,
happen. I've already talked to him about it, so
that is awesome because,
it'll
like I
happen.
said, he was the one. I'm like, I used to tell CT like, pops, man, would you DM him and tell him to look at his DM? CT like, son, just go talk to him, but you can't really catch
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. He's on the move. I mean, you can, but we'll talk about that later. So talk to me about what you would tell the kids today. Well, first I want to know, before I even get into that, when you do your clapbacks, and I'm going to call them clapbacks on social media to people who are talking about ignorant stuff. You know, I'm in the
Yeah.
fitness world industry for 25 years now. So
Mhm.
I know the dynamics of like, um, it's all relative of how much you weigh and how tall you are.
Yeah.
I get all that. Talk to me about your clapbacks and how that came about.
It's because it's disappointing because one thing that got me on that type of content, I was in a bench press group on Instagram. I'm sorry, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I'm so ignorant. I thought that fitness was everybody loved everybody, and that is just not the case, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, you can tell something was wrong with him, far as his body, the way he moved, like he had some type of MS, which he did.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, cerebral palsy. And he said
Oh, okay.
he hit a PR, and it was like 20 pounds on the bar. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing these ignorant people bash him. And I'm like, are
Wow.
you serious? So I DM'd him. I said, hey, dude, that was awesome. And mind you, I'm starting to catch a little bit of wave, got a couple of whatever, but I'm starting to move up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, man, I really appreciate that, man. I try to just post. I said, man, listen, this bench press group don't deserve your content. So I took almost an hour when I was downtime ripping dudes in there. And I'm like, you know what? Why
I
am I
love to
sitting in
see
here
it.
in the echo chamber? I got a platform. So after I was doing, because what I'm known for is the reps. I did
Yeah.
225, 70 times for the Guinness
Mm-hmm.
Book of World Record thing, which for anybody who thinks anything of the Guinness Book of World Record, they're a ripoff, they're garbage, they're not honest people. It's not what it
Mm-hmm.
was when we were younger. Anyway, I did it, had a whole event for it, and they didn't give me the credentials like they said they would.
Mm.
Secondly, then I did it unofficially. So that's what I was known for. So I knew that those days would come to an end, and they have. So being an older guy, I want to talk about staying in the gym, getting your blood work
Mm-hmm.
done, doing the proper things to be healthy, because those are things that I honestly missed out in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
my content is based on encouraging others, whether it's younger or old, but mostly the older guys who give up because they can't do a 500-pound bench press no more. So what?
Right.
You know, so
Right.
and talk about basic workouts that you can do, since you probably can't do most of the compounds that you're used to. But I
Right.
also am watching people bash people about lifts and stuff and what weight is standard and what is this and what is that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not cool neither. So when people do certain stuff like that and you have a platform, these videos go viral. They can have 200 followers, but these videos go viral. And then some minds may not know better and follow the leader of somebody who's
Yeah.
just spewing straight ignorance and can get somebody either hurt or give somebody wrong information or whatever.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start debunking some of these things.
I love it.
And if they're good lifts, I'm going to start highlighting good lifts. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody's clowning them, I'm gonna start highlighting them in a positive light and say, hey, this is not what it is. So those videos start doing well because I knew my days of just being a cool lifter is over. Now it's
Yeah.
about health and fitness and encourage.
Yeah. And
And
you
still
truth bomb
being a
people. That's
Brazilian
what brought
Jiu-Jitsu.
me to your page.
Yeah,
What's that?
and being a martial artist still. Like I'll be 100 years old if I can and still on the mat. I'm getting ready to open my school actually March 10th, so that's
Are
still gonna
you?
be a part of my life. Yep, that's gonna.
Oh, good.
Oh, I cannot
What I
wait.
was saying is that you truth bomb people, which is what I
Yeah.
love. That's what brought me to your page. I mean, I knew about you for a while. I had just been kind of following from afar, but the truth bombing is what really brought me in.
And it's something that is needed. I mean, some of these people turn this internet off and they're not the same. And for
Mm,
me, I always told Kali and CT, like, hey, dude, one of my biggest compliments in this industry has nothing to do with fitness. It has everything to do with, hey, man, you are the same way you are on the internet. I appreciate that. That's one of my
yep.
best compliment I've ever gotten. It's
Mm-hmm.
forget the lifts, forget all of that, forget martial art, forget all that. To say
Right.
that I'm the same is good enough for me because that's what I
It's
sought out
rare.
to do. Right. That's what I sought out
Yeah.
to do. So
I love that. What would you say to young kids that are watching this, who are just now getting into the gym and want to be able to lift and look like you? Like, obviously, we know that this doesn't not something that happens overnight. You just talked about how you've been lifting weights since you were 13 years old.
mhm.
You've gotten to the point where you look amazing. What would you say to a young kid who wants to start getting into the gym but their goal is to look like you?
This two things. First of all, this era is unfortunately the era of judgment, as we just talked about. We
Yeah.
was lifting weights. It was no cameras. It was no social media. So first of all, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to battle that. And my advice is, the only person in the mirror that matters, or the only person that matters, is the one in the mirror. Don't worry about what these people say because everybody gonna have something to say. And 99.9% of those people, if you go to their page, they don't reflect the advice or knowledge they give to you. Whatever they don't reflect that because they probably don't do it. There are
Mm,
unfortunately people in this world that literally have the biggest foot to step on your back and keep you down. That don't mean they're
mm,
good at what they do otherwise, but they just see you, and unfortunately those people are the best fortune tellers because they can see how great people going to be. Because if I wasn't, you wouldn't say nothing about me. So these kids are going
right.
to have true razor sharp focus if you're going in your fitness goals. Post your content. I've had kids DM me saying they was afraid to post a video. They'll send it to me, ask me what I think. And I would tell them the same thing over and over again. I think you better post that in the next 10 minutes. If you don't, I will block you from my page. Really?
I love it.
Yes. I will block you if you don't post that and tag me in
That's
it.
amazing.
I will tell them straight up and I will share it.
Mhm.
I will put on my story. Go post that bench because they are afraid of the people who don't matter.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, have a goal on what you want to do, but make sure you do it in a healthy manner. Make sure you take days off. Make sure you're not trying to pound every day, because here I am, have to get on peptides to clear up some inflammation and arthritis and all that I should have been doing these things when I was younger and I didn't. So having great lifts is cool, but quality of life is a lot better.
That's amazing. What's one thing that you would love people to know about you that they don't really get to see on social media?
I think I might show them. I might show them a lot. Like with the little comedy stuff I do. Oh, well, a lot of people don't know this, but I can sing.
Can you?
A lot of people don't know this, but I can sing. And
Wow.
I stopped because that was kind of something growing up in grandmama's house. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
if they're not in the same hotel room as me or in my house and I'm in the shower, they probably ain't gonna hear it, but that is one of the hidden talents. That is one of the hidden talents.
That's dope. I love that. Well, Brandon, thank you so much for being on the podcast. This was great. I've been trying to get you on for a while. You finally answered me. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. Tell your editor I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Having an amazing editor
Yeah.
is everything. No one will ever even know what we went through tonight. So, with that being said, I want to let everybody know I am still on Spotify. I am on YouTube. I am on Amazon. And if this is something that resonates with you, please join my community because the best is yet to come.